For the children to go to school. Wow. What a day. What a day,
George.
What a day. But we have sad news this morning.
Oh.
Ridwan Ibrahim Asante joins me now. Ridwan, we'll have to go through this before we start. Very sad news for Ghana football.
Yes, absolutely. One of the big investors in Ghana football passed, we understand, yesterday in London. The family has released a statement. We are talking about Senator Brigidi. He was the chief executive officer and also founder of Karela Football Club.
Karela. Danny, you know
Karela?
Your
area.
I know Karela very well. It's in Nzima area.
Senator Brigidi just passed, and we understand it was as a result of a short-term illness in the UK. And everybody in Ghana football has been touched by this news from yesterday. We understand he was 60, and that's what we pick up. So just bad news coming in, because this was a man who has turned the whole of Nzima Inasi, around.
Exactly.
And Karela was going to be the model club, if you ask me, because this was a club that will take the players to the market in the Inasi, and the market women will have take pictures, selfies with them. They were really living the dream of what clubs, small clubs like Fulham, like Birmingham, they are doing in their area. It was a true community club that was bringing, big star players to the side and bringing Premier League football. Those who have visited in Inase will tell you or will attest to the fact
how much the club had done.
And he bought a club from Metro Stars in Takrade, and they took it to Inase and developed the club in just a matter of 3 years or 4 years. They played in the Premier League, and before the league got on hold, they were third on the league table.
We're not losing at all.
If my memory serves me correct.
Rest in peace, and our condolences to the family.
Your family.
The family must be going through a very difficult time. To the wife, the children, and everyone else. Condolences.
Right then, let's get on to the Joy Sports Centre now, because the action must go on. And it was a weekend of action in Europe, and obviously a lot of attention on the English Premier League, where Liverpool kept their unbeaten run intact with a late-minute sweet strike from Daniel Sturridge.
Noble in towards Arnautovic to finish it, and he finishes it brilliantly. And Manchester United was simply cut apart. The United defence went AWOL. Arnautovic has been absolutely outstanding and deserves the goal. Angle Kovacic through to Eden Hazard. Giroud to his right, doesn't need him. Chelsea lead. Eden Hazard, unstoppable. Brilliant finish by Eden Hazard to put Chelsea in. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Daniel Sturridge! That is absolutely sensational. It is 1-1 with 1 minute to play. What a goal!
Manchester United lost 3-1 to West Ham United. Of course, Arsenal made it 5 out of 5 wins, with wins as well for Tottenham, Leicester and everything else, where Barcelona and Real Madrid drew their respective games, and with Juventus managing there to beat Napoli. More to come on this, but first, Black Stars captain Asamoah Gyan has made a return to the team ahead of this month's Africa Cup of Nations doubleheader with Sierra Leone. Now, Gyan, who has been missing out, or who missed out due to injuries and a lack of game time at club side, is back with some other key players and a 32-man squad. Benedict Owusu has been speaking to me about the squad.
Well, George, as expected, some players in the last squad that we predicted were not going to be in this current team indeed have been booted out. But as you mentioned in your intro, Captain Asamoah Gyan is back in the team for the first time since the World Cup qualifier against Congo in Kumasi last year. Mind you, Gyan is coming in despite his lack of game time at club level, Kayserispor. And Gyan's club mate at Kayserispor, Bernard Mensah, has also made a return to the team after a 3-year absence. Mensah obviously has been on top form at his club in the Turkish league, and for me, his inclusion doesn't come as a surprise. Mubarak Wakasu, John Boy, Jonathan Mensah, and Richmond Boachiadom, who were all left out of the team for the last game against Kenya, have been recalled. And surprisingly, Abdul Majid Waris is in the team despite his recent poor form for Ghana. Emmanuel Boateng, who also missed the last match through injury, is back as well as Hibanian midfielder Thomas Ejapon. And Kumasi Asante Kotoko goalkeeper Felix Annan is the only new addition to the team, George.
Thank you very much, Benedict. Now, the Malawi Football Association President Walter Nyamelandu has replaced ex-Ghana football boss Kwesi Gantechi on the FIFA Council after he was elected at a special sitting at the Confederation of African Football Executive Committee meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, as yesterday. Now, Nyamelandu defeated South African FA President Danny Jordan by 35 votes to 18 after 2 rounds of voting. Meanwhile, the African football will support FIFA President Gianni Infantino in his re-election bid next year, according to the Confederation Federation of African Football President Ahmad Ahmad. Now, the FIFA boss is certainly a happy man.
It's about working, it's about getting the necessary discipline, getting the necessary actions in place for African football to prosper. We all know about the strengths of African football, the passion, the talent that exists, and we know what we need to do to bring African football forward.
Let's talk the English Premier League now. Manchester United recorded their worst league start in 29 years as Jose Mourinho's side were beaten 3-1 by West Ham at the London Stadium. Manchester United fans are worried, but Jose is courting the support of many crestfallen fans.
I can assure Manchester United fans that I give 100% every day, every training, every 24 hours of the day, every match. That I can assure, and I can assure that I am a brave man with lots of experience.
What a game at the Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Liverpool. Ended 1-1 with a wonderful goal from Daniel Sturridge there. Of course, Eden Hazard got the first goal for Chelsea. Chelsea coach Mauricio Sarri believes his side are closer than he thought to Liverpool and Man City.
We are more close than I thought 1 week ago, I think. City and Liverpool are a step forward to us, so it's very difficult, but I think that we can fight for the champion.
Truly, in Liverpool, there are growing concerns about the performance of Mohamed Salah, but head coach Klopp is not worried about his dip in numbers yet.
It was not Mo's best game of his career, 100%. But coming in a game like this, constantly in situations like he comes in, that makes a world-class player. So, and then you fail, you miss, whatever that happens, and no problem with that, how I said. But I want him that he wants to be decisive, that he wants to score in these situations. But you could really see the first ball he missed a bit.
Good win there for Arsenal as well, and there were goals from Raheem Sterling and Sergio Aguero to ensure Man City stay top of the Premier League with a victory over Brighton. Let's find out what happened elsewhere in Europe. Moses Yeboah has got a wrap.
Borussia Dortmund scored 4 times in the last 25 minutes to come from 2 goals down and beat Bayer Leverkusen 4-2 to climb top of the Bundesliga table with 14 points, 1 ahead of champions Bayern Munich, who suffered their first defeat of the season with a 2-0 loss at Hertha Berlin. Roma defender Federico Fazio went from villain to hero as his side continued their recent dominance over neighbours Lazio with a 3-1 win in a pulsating Derby de la Capitale on Saturday. Cristiano Ronaldo played a part in all 3 goals as Juventus came from behind to defeat title rivals Napoli to maintain the unbeaten run. Juventus now turn their attention to young boys in the Champions League while Napoli take on Liverpool. Barcelona's run of poor form continued following a surprise 1-1 draw at home to Athletic Bilbao. Lionel Messi and Sergio Busquets started on the bench as Barcelona stretched their winless run to 3 La Liga matches. Real Madrid missed the chance to go 2 points clear of Barcelona at the top as they drew 0-0 with Atletico Madrid in an edgy but entertaining local derby in which the outstanding players were the 2 goalkeepers. Neymar took a whack to the face but played on and grabbed his second goal as Paris Saint-Germain won at Nice 3-0 in Ligue 1 to join Juventus as the only 2 teams in the top 5 leagues to have won all their matches so far.
UEFA Champions League commentary returns tomorrow with Manchester United Valencia featuring on our commentary game, and then on Wednesday as Barcelona up against Spurs. There was golf to savour this weekend as well because Europe thrashed the United States to regain the Ryder Cup, prompting wild celebrations, tears and one player dressing as a pillar box in the Le Golf National in France.
Phil Mickelson's tee shot on its way on the 16th. Where's this one going to end up? It's in the water. Phil Mickelson's found the water. He takes his cap off. That's it. Francesco Molinari wins the Ryder Cup back for Europe.
What can I say? Just an amazing week. Like I was saying before, it's not about individual. I won twice already the Ryder Cup without scoring a full point before this week, and I'm glad I finally got some points on the board this week.
Oh yeah, Tiger Woods had a horrendous outing out there. But don't worry, let's talk about Formula 1. Lewis Hamilton took a giant step towards a 5th World Championship with victory in the Russian Grand Prix under controversial circumstances. The BBC's Andy Bowell has more.
Lewis Hamilton leads the Drivers' Championship by a massive 50 points after he won the Russian Grand Prix. But the win came after Mercedes told teammate Valtteri Bottas to let him past.
Suddenly got a call to move over. Obviously, we are here as a team fighting for the constructors, so it doesn't really make difference for the team. I'm first or Lewis is first for the team points, and from 2 of us only Lewis is fighting for the championship. I'm not, so it makes kind of sense like that. But obviously, I guess I took one for the team today.
Having been forced to give up the lead, Bottas finished second. Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari finished third, a result which extends Hamilton's championship lead by a further 10 points. Hamilton's celebrations at the end of the race were muted, given the nature of the win.
Okay, I think I understand that. There was not enough time to troll Manchester United, but I was just suggesting to Daniel, hard score to call this the time to play Manchester United and defeat them before it's too late.
If there was ever a time to play Manchester United, it is now.
This is the time. You, Karela United, you can go ahead and play Manchester United.
So we want
just
to extend a hand of friendship to Jose Mourinho.
And Danny,
as part of strengthening our relations with the UK. Manchester United versus Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I want to call a match for my boys, Mediama SC.
They will win that game.
It's time to win against Man United.
And that's why we have chosen Manchester United versus Valencia on Tuesday, tomorrow. That will be interesting. Champions League.
Very, very interesting to see how their Champions League form
have a super morning,
like.
Daniel, you do.
I will have a super morning myself. You have a super morning,
yeah,
George. Thanks so much for joining us for today's Joy Sports Center.